In some ways, WWE Raw was more extreme than Extreme Rules 2021. There were 2 matches on the show that fit the extreme category, which would have been a better fit for the pay-per-view that preceded it. It was definitely a stacked episode of WWE Raw this week, with Big E in action not once, but twice throughout the night. We even came to know who will challenge him next, so, without any more of your time, let's check out the best and worst of WWE Raw this week. As always, feel free to chime in with your thoughts and comments. Let's start with the best and worst category, because it deserves a special mention. Number 3, Best and Worst, WWE Raw sees the return of Goldberg. If someone lays a hand on your son, wouldn't you return for retribution immediately? Or would you wait for the next big event to come along, so that you receive a major payday when you return for revenge in Saudi Arabia? That said, there is no disputing the kind of intensity that Goldberg brings to every single promo. In fact, Goldberg went on to say that he wants to kill Bobby Lashley, which is not something we've heard often since WWE went PG. One has to hope that Big E does not drop the WWE Championship to Bobby Lashley, however, to make the upcoming match in Saudi Arabia even bigger. Goldberg and Bobby Lashley could definitely have a good match. They just have to make sure that it doesn't last long. The best case scenario for the WWE Raw brand would be if this match happens outside the title picture. There's certainly a story to be told, and there's a hungry Saudi Arabian audience hoping to lap it up. Number 2, Best. A new WWE Raw star gets the spotlight. WWE Raw superstar Veer pinned Mustafa Ali to pick up a major win this week. They made a reference to $1 Million Arm on commentary, which is the movie about Rinku Singh's, Veer's real name, life. It's great to see that Veer is being given his due because the need of the hour is to create new stars who can break out. One has to believe that WWE Raw superstar Mansoor will get his big win back in Saudi Arabia. Number 2, Worst. There's a conspiracy theory doing the rounds. WWE Creative Humor is a popular Twitter account known for hilarious takes on WWE's booking. A tweet went out recently which made fun of the way Finn Balor was booked in the Extreme Rules main event match. Among the many individuals who liked it was WWE Raw superstar Ricochet. Many fans online have speculated that Ricochet was thrust into the 24/7 championship picture for the very same reason. Whether or not that's the case, it's a major step down for him. He deserves much better. Number 1, Best. The WWE Raw main event match was just perfect. WWE Raw saw the return of the Hurt Business, which was a positive step. This is a faction that should have never split up, to begin with, but all's well that ends well. The WWE Raw main event happened inside a steel cage and everything about the match was A+. For Big E to pick up a dominant win in such a convincing manner will do wonders for him. As for Big E versus Drew McIntyre, it should be a good feud. Number 1, Worst. The never-ending feud. Charlotte Flair and Doudrop had a pretty competitive match on WWE Raw this week that went back and forth, and then Eva Marie would ruin the moment by striding in and bringing an end to the proceedings. Can Doudrop move on from Eva Marie already now that she's comprehensively beaten her so many times? Yes, it was a way for Shayna Baszler to come in and decimate Marie, but Doudrop suffered in the process. Hopefully, Doudrop gets a big singles push soon. Bobby Lashley's manager MVP responded after the Hurt Business got back together on WWE Raw. Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin came out to the ring during Bobby Lashley's WWE Championship match against Big E earlier in the night, while wearing Hurt Business t-shirts. MVP, the brains behind the group, took to Twitter to congratulate the 3 superstars on reuniting by posting a few clapping hands emojis. The 2-time United States champion also responded to a tweet from a fan who shared a photo of MVP and Shelton Benjamin sitting side by side following the Hurt Business initial split. While the Hurt Business reunited tonight on the Red brand, MVP was missing from the show because he is currently recuperating after undergoing knee surgery. While it is not currently clear why the stable reunited after it split up over 5 months ago, one possible reason could be that Bobby Lashley has not been on his best run in recent weeks. The Almighty has struggled to pick up wins since he lost the WWE Championship to Big E. Even Cedric Alexander took a hearty dig at the Almighty in which he suggested that if Lashley had backup, his brief bout with Big E would have ended differently. Given the absence of MVP, Lashley had even more incentive to reunite with the same allies that he evicted from the Hurt Business roughly 5 months ago, because the initial WWE Championship match between Lashley and Big E earlier in the night ended in disqualification. Adam Pearce booked another match between the 2 stars later in the night. Lashley faced WWE Champion Big E in the main event of Raw in a steel cage match. Former WWE Raw Women's Champion and UFC legend Ronda Rousey has announced the birth of her daughter on social media. Rousey announced her pregnancy back in April after posting a video on her YouTube channel. She has not been seen on WWE TV since WrestleMania 35, when the baddest woman on the planet lost her Raw Women's Championship in the first ever women's main event. Rousey had always expressed her desire to settle down and start a family. and the former women's champion made it clear that she would be taking a hiatus from WWE to do so. The baddest woman on the planet made the announcement on social media with a heartwarming image and revealed her daughter's name in the caption. La Akea Makalapu Okalanapo Brown, said Ronda Rousey in the caption. With the birth of her child, rumors will surely begin to swirl over a possible timeline for Rousey's return. WWE management and fans alike have been hoping for the Rowdy One to return. However, that doesn't seem to be a guarantee of any kind. For now, Rousey has given zero indication that she wants to step back into the squared circle. Current WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch recently spoke with Sports Bible and gave predictions on what Rousey might do after giving birth. The man said she thought Rousey could use her personal journey as motivation to get back into the ring. This was, of course, before Rousey's announcement today. I know she's ambitious, and so I think having this baby is going to light a fire under her. She's seen what I can accomplish straight off and she might come searching, said Becky Lynch. We at Wrestling Flash would like to congratulate Ronda Rousey and Travis Browne on the birth of their daughter. Alexa Bliss could be taking time off from WWE. There were teases that a character change is coming, and one source notes she could be out months. Sunday night's angle with Alexa Bliss being distraught over the destruction of her doll Lily might mean more than fans realize. Reports have surfaced that a character change could be in the works, and part of the change could include Bliss taking some time off from WWE programming. Wrestling Incorporated is reporting that Bliss could be undergoing a character change, is exclusively reporting that she's set to take time off from television, while they note that Raw on Monday might shed a little more light on the planning. The angle at Extreme Rules with Charlotte Flair ripping up Lily the doll may have been the start of the beginning of writing her off the show. Charlotte noted during a post-match interview that she wasn't interested in feuding with this cartoon character version of Bliss. Ripping up Lily was a wake-up call to remind her that she's still a champion at heart, said Flair. There has been speculation that perhaps Bray Wyatt could return to WWE. If that's even remotely true, it would make sense to see Bliss character change, so that WWE isn't offering two versions of a similar gimmick. Could Bliss return as the version of her character fans all knew before her association with Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse? That seems to be what this report and Flair's comments are suggesting. Wrestling Inc. writes, "It is not known how long Bliss will be off of television, but I was told it would be a few months. That's a lot of time for a simple character change, so perhaps Bliss also has some time off already scheduled or promised to her. If WWE does change things up, it's an interesting decision by WWE. Considering rumors the company is looking for characters they can sell as larger than life and offer something different than just wrestlers in the ring, taking the new version of Bliss away, along with all the merchandising that comes with it, including Lily, seems counterproductive to that end. Fans will be split on this. Some love the character as it is now, while others miss the older version of Bliss."